Celebrity Stage Stories is an Edge magazine special presentation. Each issue of Edge explores a compelling theme with an intriguing blend of essays, articles, and photography, along with interviews with the biggest names in TV, movies, music, and more. Visit Edge Magazine's website for free digital versions of the magazine, exclusive digital content, and more at edgemagonline.com, and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. Now, on with the show.
All right. Hello again, everyone, and welcome once again to Celebrity Stage Stories. I am Jerry Strauss, and folks, we are in exciting times indeed. It's a time in the world where not only do we celebrate the people we love, but the things we love, the content we love, the shows we love. And with that in mind, we're all looking forward to a very unique event coming to New Jersey, coming to Secaucus. It's happening the weekend of August 6th and 7th. And you can find out more information on this at DunderCon.com, because it is DunderCon, the first ever convention of this magnitude for fans of the classic television show The Office. We're going to be there. We're going to be doing all kinds of coverage, live streaming, and just lots of stuff that's going to be really special for you to check out all weekend long when that happens. But we're not waiting until DunderCon to get excited to talk to some of those guests and stars who will be appearing at the big event. We've got one right here. She is here patiently waiting for me to stop rambling on. And we thank her for doing so. Kelen Coleman, you know her as Isabel from The Office, if you are indeed a fan of The Office, but you know her from so many other things as well. We're going to talk about all of them. Kelen, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Of course. From the luxury of my own white dining room wall.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Simplicity.
So nice. All the scratches. Great. Simplicity, yes. I didn't even put up the backdrop today. I was like, let's go bare bones.
That's, you know what? Because we're going to be bearing our souls here in this conversation. So, well, I mean, again, and we got to start off talking about DunderCon because, again, this is a convention about a show that continues to grow, continues to be more and more beloved year and year after year after year as people continue to watch it and discover it. And you are a part of that inescapably forever. Is that, I mean, and I know generally speaking, it's a cool thing, but is it ever a challenge for you to walk around and be a part of this world, this multiverse, so to speak, of The Office?
Yes, I wish, right?
Well, yeah. But I mean, what is it like? I mean, you go to the store, you go out. Is Isabel the most recognizable character you've played in your career so far?
One of, for sure. I mean, people have always recognized me for certain different things. It depends what's running on the air at the time, or if I'm on a current show or whatnot. But Isabel is definitely one that I keep getting, and usually I can spot someone when they recognize me and they're trying to figure out what it is.
Right.
Most of the Office people know immediately, and which is a compliment because it was quite a bit of time ago, and apparently I still look somewhat the same. So I'll take it. But the Office is one where even if like they can't quite put a finger on it, I can kind of figure out, oh, they're Office people and go, or something like that. But no, it's not, it depends if it's airing, depends if it's streaming. It's gotten more and more prevalent and popular. It just keeps, like you said, it keeps growing because it was popular back then, but now it's going to be like a cult, beyond cult classic forever. And with it being syndication and on, streaming everything, it's changed the game. And I always knew that people liked my character, but it's gotten even more so. And I like that it's mostly all positive. People tag me and things on the internet, and I look at them and they're pretty funny. People quote me back to me, some of the lines I improvise and some of my characters' lines, but yeah, it's fun. It's not a burden. It's a pleasure. And like, it sounds like, oh, it's an honor, but it is. This is, one of my favorite shows before I was on it. And now I was a part of it. So that's pretty phenomenal.
I've seen tons of arguments online, whether it's just text form or like compiled videos, people arguing and pushing for this idea that yourself, your character Isabel and Dwight should have ended up together, that you were
Yeah,
the true soulmates.
I know.
Uh,
It's funny.
and if you really think about it, and just really the way society has taken in their content, right? I mean, The Office, we loved it as a show, and now I feel like even Peacock has really pushed this idea of putting out 10-minute videos of like compiled great moments from the show, and I think
Oh,
people are
I
enjoying it
didn't even
from
know that.
there. But all the way down to like memes and gifs and et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. Those moments are taken in just new ways all the time. I feel like Dwight kicking you in the face in the wedding episode is one of those moments in television history that is going to live on forever, even on a meme level.
It's that and the whack, me hitting Angela in the head.
Mm.
Those both are very popular, and it's pretty cool because the kick in the face was just us being good at physical comedy, and Rain and I both had done a lot of it, and we actually, because we each came up with, like, part of our dance was choreographed, or we'd learn the general dance, and then we'd each have our own times to come and like create our own bits of the dance. And
Mm.
we had to do what kind of the script says we do, but we could figure out how we wanted to do it, and make our own dance moves with help of choreographers. So we knew the cake had to come. And I'd done a lot of physical comedy growing up in theater. And I remember like that happening and I was like, yeah, I think we should do it bigger. And I think the stunt coordinator didn't see us till right before we were doing it. We did it and we got no notes except more. We were like,
Mm.
okay. But also the whack, I didn't want to hit her in the face. I didn't want to hit Angela. And she was like, no, just do it. And I was like, ah! So I mean, it was not hard. It was like, I'm doing it right now. But she told me, Angela wanted me to actually like make contact, which is very cool of her to be like so inviting of that and like brave, I guess. I don't know. What if I would never clock her. But yeah, as far as that's definitely the memes, and then the whole, I find that funny, the whole Dwight should have ended up, I'm the one that got away and we were the perfect pair and all of that. And there's definitely some people who say some things. I don't love the people who say not nice things because I'm still a person and I'm not Isabel. But some people go a little too far. I don't take it that seriously though. I'm like,
Oh,
okay, great.
I mean, you can't. And especially, on top of all that, I'm sure there's a lot of messed up fan fiction out there that goes in great
No.
detail about where the character of Isabel should have
No,
gone.
I mean, if there is, I don't really look myself up. So unless someone's like, hey, I need a picture of you for something, I'm like, oh God, and I have to Google myself just because I don't have pictures of and I have to look something up. But I don't look up that type of stuff. So if it's out there,
It's
maybe
out
I'm
there.
not seeing it.
I
And I only see the stuff that people tag me in online, and most of the stuff is really nice, and nothing really makes me upset. And people don't go too far, I don't think, because they're also, I have to remember, they're not talking about me, they're talking about the character. And I was only supposed to be on the wedding episodes. Like it turned into more. So I don't know if they had, I don't really know. I'd love to like one day ask Greg Daniels, hopefully I'll work with him again, but like ask how thought out this character and the journey where she was going to end goes. From what I knew, I was going to be on more. I mean, it turned into more, and because they liked me or liked what I did or something. And then it kind of stopped, and I didn't know why. But I've heard rumors, but I'm not going to say them why. But let's just say like Dwight and Angela had to end up together.
Yeah,
we know this. Like I knew this watching the show, and from before that. So anything that wasn't helping make that eventually happen should not be there for too long. Because
yeah.
attached to characters or like them, and if people like your character too much, that's not going to help where it should end up.
It's almost like that Ross Rachel thing. Like anyone who dated either of those people throughout the whole entirety of Friends was kind of public enemy number one because they were in the way of the inevitability.
Right. So in a way, and I always knew, like I've had that role before, like on the Newsroom, I had that role where I was like the thing that was keeping Maggie and Jim, those characters apart. And, if you keep that like middle person there too long, people can get it either like them, or it can be maybe I'm better off because maybe people have started hating me, and that's good that I.
It's a hot seat. It's
nice
a tough position.
Right, but it's nice to have people been be so sweet and be like so the one that got away and all that. That means they like my work and my characters, so I appreciate that, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, I think
You
Isabel
know, it's okay.
definitely would be classified as a fan favorite when you look at the whole.
That's what I hear, and
uh,
I'm so that's so lovely.
Look,
It feels
a-
nice.
a- and you were so funny on that show, and I want to go back a little bit because especially because of the fact that we're talking about DunderCon and we're talking about The Office, I think there's a lot of people who are watching or listening to this who know you at least primarily from The Office, from that character.
Mm.
But I think it's important to understand just how well-rounded your career has been from the beginning. Now, you come from being a part of theater, as you said, and like delving into acting from an earlier age in your life, growing up in Maryland, which is,
You've
you
done
know,
your homework.
I've yes, I thank you, Google.
There's not
But
much there because I don't really tend to all of that stuff, so that's good.
yeah, well,
2 sentences.
but I mean, what I'm interested in, I guess, is when you go back to that point, you talked about how you've got experience doing comedy on the stage, et cetera, et cetera. But do you think of yourself as more of a comedic performer even back then? Was that the ultimate goal, or were you looking for more of a mixture in your career?
That's a good question. I guess growing up, actually, so I always like acted, danced, and sang in schools. You know, I was in like the show choir, like the Glee, you know, like that TV show. Like those were real. Those obviously people don't know, but I'm sure people do. I was in the show choir. Was in all of the like, school musicals. I thought I considered myself more of a singer but I feel like that's because there was more tangible programs in the school system that I was in of being in honors chorus and the musicals and things like that. We had a really great choir teacher and this big show, this rock and roll review show. And I grew up, my father's a musician, and so my mom was an actress back in the day, so I also had that part of me too, and it was always kind of innate to me. But I don't think I had like the theater groups, and yes, we had plays, but there wasn't necessarily like a teacher who took the acting classes and stuff very seriously or really taught us maybe well until I always knew I wanted to do it. I always knew I was going to do it.
Yeah.
It was kind of whatever happened first, acting or singing. And now, unfortunately, I put singing on the back burner for a very long time. But growing up, I always wanted to do all types of acting, drama, comedy, multicam, single cam, hour-long drama, which is oddly wonderful that I've been able to do all of them.
Mm.
However, I did have a flair for being funny and doing comedy. So it's kind of like, I think my reps had always been like, we know you'll hit first in comedy, but like you do it all. So that's amazing because it's hard to find someone who can switch like that. Because even some people can't do, when I say like a multi-camera comedy, I mean like the Seinfelds, the Friends, the Roseannes, like, the Big Bang Theory with multiple cameras. We called those sitcoms. And the single camera comedies, even though they use more cameras, are The Office, The Mindy Project, the ones I've done like that.
Mhm.
So it's a slightly different form of comedy. Like it's smaller, it's more subtle. It's where you're with The Office. It's like you're making the camera awareness, like if it's a mockumentary style, which is a fake documentary. But it's smaller. And when you're doing a multi-camera, you're hitting a joke when you know it has to be hit because it has a responsive audience laughter after.
Right.
And it's kind of a more musical. Like I hear the way the joke should land in my head to get the right response. So
Mhm.
I've always been very good at it. I always got it, and now I've been on 10 different multi-camera shows
Oh,
and
wow.
but multiple more episodes than just that. And then I haven't counted the single cams or the dramas, but I'm so lucky that I'm able to transition in
Mhm.
them. It's funny though, because it can be great and detrimental because some people don't know that if they know me really well through comedy, they're like, she does drama. And then some
That's
people be watching like the Newsroom or like the last one not the last one, but like How to Get Away with Murder in my arc on there, and then they'll be like, wait, she's funny? Like I tend to meld like comedy into the drama and drama into the comedy because the ability to go real
Mhm.
and have emotional moments in them are sometimes needed. But it's funny because sometimes people don't know, And I do like to do everything. I'm really miss theater. I want to go back and do stage in New York, maybe. I'm just anything to keep me creative and going. I love.
And we've talked about this a bunch on this show before with past guests. Jason Alexander comes to mind. That theater background is
I learned. I took self-defense from Jason Alexander. Story. Yeah,
what?
He's been doing martial arts since he wouldn't remember. He's been doing martial arts since he was, what do you say, 13 or 9 or 13, like black belts and all this stuff. I don't know his actual qualifications, but my friend was friends with him, and he like had a passion for teaching women self-defense. And so she got a group of people together and we all did it. It was
Really?
years ago. Isn't that crazy?
And that was
Stanza. Whitehurst. Is that bad for your show? Oh, sorry.
What?
But self-defense taught by George Costanza. Jason Alexander.
That's crazy. That's
that's such a weird side story.
And hey, go back in the archives and check out my interview with Jason Alexander as well. For those of you who does he what? He doesn't talk about he I don't think we talked at all about self-defense.
Yeah, he's it was so nice.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I mean, what we did talk about was the idea of coming from the stage onto the, as you say, traditional multi-camera sitcom, and how, there are benefits and, like for him, for instance, his instinct was to play to the audience and he had to learn how to play to the cameras. But for a lot of people, they kind of come from the other direction where they have to remember that there's a studio audience there and learn how to play toward them. But you're so well-rounded. I mean, especially at this point, you've got all those instincts for every situation seemingly built in, right? I mean, there's got to be a comfort level to that.
I find that so funny that he said he had to learn something. Like you watch even the like first episodes. I mean, I've seen him in so many things though, because I mean, people don't remember him. He's like the creep in Pretty Woman. He's done a lot, and he can play such a good creep because he's a great actor. He has that basis, that foundation of. Sorry, this keeps shaking. I probably shouldn't touch the table anymore. But he has that.
That's okay.
He has that basis of theater and of studying and becoming a real actor, and then happen to be a funny guy, and so it works. He can cross those lines and do it very well. And I think that I just find it so funny that like when the greats say like, oh yeah, I had to learn how to not play to the audience. I'm like, wait, what? Like you didn't. And they do say that people who have done multi are more easier transition into some of the less obvious, like it's really easy to say, take it down, or is it the opposite? I don't know, but basically it's multicam is hard for some people to learn how to go from small to big. But when someone can already do the like, it's easy for them to like tone it down. They say, I'm sure there's differing opinions on that, but
yeah, mileage may vary.
You can kind of transition because and that's funny though, because the cameras are like the audience, right? It's the fourth wall, shall I say? Because like you have the audiences behind the cameras, so you're not playing up here, but you're also, he's fucking good. I am gonna get you in trouble.
You're all good. All good. We're all grown ups here. It's all good.
And if you're not, go to bed. No, I don't know.
Absolutely. Well, look, I want to do like a quick, just kind of a show by show. I just want to ask you for your thoughts, your memories, your experiences on just a smattering, a sampling of some of these shows you've been on that, again, I think a lot of people may not realize how many different shows you've been on and how many iconic people that you've worked with and held your own with and went toe to toe with.
I don't even realize it.
Well, look, okay, trip down memory lane then for
you. Try to keep it short. I tend to like want to tell someone everything, so I'm like, and then we went to the park, and I said, get me a coffee, and so I'll try to keep it more concise.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But the first thing I actually wanted to ask you about was the Mindy Project, because with so many people realizing, of course, your office background, so to speak, was there a connection there? Like, was that that familiarity what led to the bridge that got you over to the Mindy Project?
Well, actually, so the reason I got The Office, thank you, Allison Jones and Ben Harris, and that their office, but because I had gone in for Allison, I'd met her when I first got out here. I didn't even live here yet. My agent sent me to a few select like casting directors and producers and people to see. Like I was weighing out agents, and he was also doing the smart thing of being like, "Does this girl have it?" And he sent me to Allison as one of the people to test me out. And she was like, "Yes, this I like this girl," and and Ben have been very supportive of me in the past, and I really owe them a lot. And I've been in originally for Aaron.
Oh.
Yeah, and didn't get that, and then I'm not sure if I went out for maybe one other role, but it was all like you go in with Allison, you tape, and they like would cast off of tape back before people were really doing that because they just trust her so much because she's just amazing at knowing comedic actors. And I got it from an offer. Like they called me and played a trick on me, my agents and manager at the time, and were just like, well, yeah, you have everybody on the phone. And like they always would do this. And they'd say, like, I mean, how would you like it if you if you could play like Pam's best friend and bridesmaid, bridesmaid from college and bridesmaid on The Office? Is that something you'd be interested in? And I was like, oh my God, yes. When do I go in? Like, how long do I have to learn this? And they were like, no, you got it. I was like, what? But they stretched it out, and I'm like, excuse me? I couldn't, I wasn't even at the place in my career where I should be getting straight offers, let alone what? And it was, I mean, I think I screamed. I was like jumping up and down. It was one of those Hollywood moments that you kind of are like, like, this is my life. Crazy excited. And then the Mindy project, I had been in for it for one of the original series regular roles, and that oddly enough Anna Camp ended up getting, who I met on The Office, and we became really close friends then, and we're still friends today. But we met on The Office, so we both went out, I guess, for this role that she ended up playing. I forget the character's name, and then I don't think I tested for it, but she got it. And obviously super happy for her because when it's someone you like, amazing. Then I think I ended up going in for another character, and I did test. It was like the Italian secretary, like the one who talks like this and like blah, blah, blah. I forget the girl who played it. She was great.
Right.
And then I didn't get it, but I went in, I got myself to producers. And then that's when Mindy saw me, was like, Kelen, oh my God, it's good to see you. So sweet. And then I got a test, and I didn't get it. And I was bummed, And then I think I oddly enough got a straight offer again, which is so lovely when that happens because it doesn't happen all the time. And I would love one now. So if you're out there, I'm available. But I got it.
That is a can of worms you've just
have I? Let's have it.
Up.
And yeah, so then I think I got a straight offer to play one of Mindy's best friends. And they were bringing in, like, Anna was already in there, but they were bringing in me and a girl named Mary Grill, who's fantastic, to kind of add some other levels in there. And it turned in, I don't know how many episodes it was supposed to be, but I ended up doing 5. And then I had a show, and I couldn't, that I was in contract to. Then I thought I was going to do more, but they changed they wanted it more in the office and less outside the office. And so it didn't end up going more, but I had a great time, and Mindy was so nice to me. Yeah. So that was cool to, you never know like what one job or what one audition will lead to. So it's like kind of, they say, every audition is for your next job, even if you don't get that one. And that's kind of true, do a good job on that job. And if you audition, and if you're not right for that part, you never know. So in those cases, it was very true. And I'm so grateful to Mindy for like bringing me along and still believing in me. Yeah. And I'd love to work with her again.
There you go. Put it out into the world. Put it out there. Right. We're going to switch gears now because you mentioned it before, the Newsroom. This is the kind of work that I really feel a lot of people don't realize that you've done so much great stuff in. But what was it like just being a part of that cast and, working with someone like Jeff Daniels and just the whole very different type of scene that is a show like the Newsroom versus what we've talked about so far?
So Aaron Sorkin is, in my opinion, a brilliant writer, brilliant screenwriter. He is, I had heard him before being compared to like the closest thing to William Shakespeare today because his conversation and his dialogue is so musical and it has a back and forth like rhythm to it. And he's famous for the walk and talks that like kind of started, I want to say on West Wing, but maybe they're before that. And like, 8 pages of dialogue with people will be walking down a hallway while they're, having a scene, which seems easy, but is actually not, especially with the very vocabulary heavy, dense, speak to punctuation kind of dialogue that he has. I went in and I was super nervous as I have, or at the time at least would get on many auditions. And I taped with casting first. And they were unbelievable to me as well. I love Nancy. And I, then I got a call back to producers and Sorkin was going to be in the room and he would be reading with me. And I was like, what? Wait, excuse me. This is a man who wrote, A Few Good Men. Like, come on. And now Social Network and like just.
And because of the very specific way he writes, and as you said, the rhythm and everything, he knows he has in his head exactly what he wants to hear,
and exactly how he wants it to sound. And like you don't add words usually. You don't change words with his dialogue. And he was lovely. Turns out he's a huge Office fan.
Oh.
So he was asking me questions about The Office, and I was like, "What?" Like, I had no idea. So, again, another, something great that came out of The Office. And however, I did have to like do well at the session. He could have been a great fan of The Office. I come in and not be able to do his work, but it went really well. And it is actually between me and one other person, and then eventually went my way. And I can only thank him 5,000 times. And that was only supposed to be a few episodes, and turned into, 5 episodes on the first season out of 10 and 2 of the second. And I think once you get cast, if he believes you can do it, you believe you could do it, because he's not going to have anyone on his shows that can't keep up with that dialogue.
Yeah.
So, and it really helps coming from the theater. So I think that obviously I was stone cold dead, like nervous, and didn't sleep the night before I tape. And you want to make sure you have that dialogue down hard.
Sure.
You don't want to be going up on your lines in front of these people, and with Sam Waterston in the room and Jeff Daniels and all these people. You want to be able to go toe to toe and show them, oh, I'm not just here because, like I'm the love interest and like, I'm just that girl. Like, I want to show them that I can do this. So I took it very seriously, and it was a fabulous experience. Like, I really loved all those people, and don't get to see them very often, but do keep in touch with some of them, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So many, again, we're just going through a sampling here, but I mean, these are like iconic, like, I mean, and I've done this before on the show, and I always hate when I do it, and I don't know why I do it, but sometimes we get to talk to someone like yourself, and your career is almost like a Forrest Gump. And what I mean by that in a positive way is that you're in all these great places, all these iconic shows, and like, what's the common link? It's you.
Well, that is really nice to hear, because, I'm going to be honest, like, being an actor is everything I hoped it would be. And some of the things I definitely knew it might be and hoped it wouldn't. And it's a weird time, especially since the pandemic. I have a lot of friends that are working, and finally getting their due, or getting what they've always deserved. And I have some friends that, it's harder for, and are going through a time of not working. And that doesn't mean they're any less talented, and that doesn't mean they're any less good or able. It's like, it comes in peaks and valleys. And so it's really nice to actually for you to say that, because I'm in a little bit of a valley, and I'm so excited and trying to stay excited about the next part of my story, because I know I have so much more I want to do, and so many stories more I want to tell, and characters I want to play. I haven't even really, like, in most of your career, you play a version of yourself for a very long time. It's not until later you get to play a character so different, like a Charlize Theron, and in Monster. Like, my dream would be to play something like that, because I actually can do that and want to transform. I just haven't been given a lot of those opportunities, because I'm still on this certain place, which a lot of actors go to, play varying degrees of characters that have similarities to them. So I am really trying to stay positive and just like can't wait to see what the next thing is that's going to be something that someone in an interview goes, I can't believe you worked on that. And you go, me neither. Because I would really love to see what that next one is, you know?
And
But I love all the jobs, but I really can't wait for that like next big one.
yeah, I mean, it's always exciting, but to think about, you know, especially when you have the confidence to just know that something good is coming, right? That's
It's
the
hard to do. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like I said, white wall, we're bare right now. Like it is hard. There's so many people don't see how much struggle it is mentally and emotionally. Like it seems very glamorous and lovely, and it is when it is. But when it's not, you're getting told no and basically being broken up with every day. That's what I try to relate it to. I'm like, you know, when I talk to kids about wanting to do this, I don't want to shatter dreams. I want to, you know, I want them to build them up and make them believe they can do this. But it's also good to somehow, and I wouldn't say it in these words, you know, I'd probably say it, I'm saying it lightly now, but I'd probably say it even lighter to children. Like, you know, make sure this is like what you want to do and like the only thing you can think of doing that makes you happy, because it is hard, you know, and it is, you're kind of like going on a date every single day. Sometimes you tape twice a day. So you're, you know, 2 dates a day being told, nah, I don't like you, or you're not good enough, or whatever. Even though that's not what they're saying and they don't mean that. Like you could be one of 5 people out of thousands that audition. That's pretty good. However, there's only one person that gets a job. So you're constantly being judged for your interpretation of character, how you look, how you act, how, you know, tall you are, whatever it is, to get the right person for that role. So
you're an underdog. You're an underdog every day of your life. You're fighting against the numbers, fighting against the odds.
There's problems in the world to have. We're talking in relation to this and to you know, to this work and to, I love doing what I do because I love what TV and movies were to me when I was growing up. Like very much, I mean, I have a great family and I had wonderful parents and all that, but I also had TV was my babysitter a lot of the times by choice, because my parents would, my dad was a musician, he'd be on the road sometimes, or, you know, my mom would be at work and I would come home and sneak the TV for as long as I could. And it would make me laugh, it would make me cry. It just, I escaped my own life, and it just makes you feel and puts you in other people's lives and gives you such empathy that, like, I love making someone laugh. It's one of the best things ever. And I love giving someone catharsis. Like, as someone who's, you know, has tons of things going on in her life, great, bad, personal, lovely, and all of the stuff. We're all have been through a crazy few years.
Sure.
You need that. We need the connection of seeing what other people's lives are like, but also having a laugh and also getting outside yourself. And I just freaking love it so much that I just have to try to stay positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I think all of us watching, getting to know you, or just having seen what you can do, you know we're confident in you, just as hopefully as confident as
so I'll take it.
well, look, we're going to get a chance, many of us, especially those of us lucky enough to be in New Jersey or within reach of New Jersey, the first weekend of August. I guess that would be August 6th and 7th, I believe, are the dates for DunderCon. It's the biggest celebration of The Office for fans that we have had yet, which is crazy that it's taken so long for this to happen, but so cool that it's happening, you know, local to us here. Me personally, Edge Magazine on a broader scale. And you're going to be there, and you're going to be up close and personal. That is frightening to say, but you're going to be up close and personal with so many fans who are coming to check this thing out. There's only one first, you know, in one's life, in history, et cetera, et cetera. So this is going to be insane. What's your feeling in general in your relationship with just the idea of conventions, celebrity conventions, and get-togethers of that sort?
I have not done any. So for everyone coming, go easy on me. This is my first one. I have always been wary of them. There used to be a stigma about doing them in the industry and like what that means about your career and all that. Everything has changed since the pandemic, you know, and it's kind of like people want to reach out, and especially with the rise of Comic-Con, people want to meet and see the people in person of these shows they love. And also there's no stigma, I don't think, anymore about people who do them, because I think the industry gets that we want to meet the fans and how great that is. And also, like, it's just a lovely, you know, symbiotic. Oh my vocab. Am I in an orchestra right now using these big words? It's just a good exchange of, like, you know, we come, we give our time. Hopefully, you know, we're like making extra side money for whatever in our life, but we're doing it. I think most people are, that are not A-list, like being paid millions, are doing it because they want to meet the people that love the work that they do or have been a part of. And so I just finally, thought, wouldn't this be cool? I love people. I've talked to a lot of the people that write me online, and I try to get to people eventually. And I thought, what a cool thing. And I met someone who's running it, created it, Arnold, who I'd signed some stuff for. He came out to LA and I signed some things, and he's met everyone on the cast. He told me he was coming and he told me he's doing this, and I just trust him, and we'll see if that pays off, right, Arnold? But he's just a good guy, and I trusted him, and I thought so many great people were going, and it sounded really cool, and what a cool way to spend my time. So I thought I'd try it. And also because recently, like, The Office has become, usually it's like comic books and like sci-fi show, comic books, young adult TV that goes to these, like, you've been asked to go to these conventions, and then all of a sudden The Office, because it is a cult, but more than cult favorite. And I think that once that has now been, let's do one just for The Office. Yeah. Okay. That sounds great. I've always wanted to be on a show that someone wanted us to be at a convention. And now I turns out I was always on one, and it just took a while for people to want their own convention.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it's really exciting.
I think it's going to be worth the wait. I think it's going to be gigantic. I think fans have been waiting for this thing for so long, maybe without even realizing it, but this is the thing that people have wanted. And I assume people are going to be traveling in from all over the country for this, because it is the biggest gathering of stars from that show, all the seasons. It's going to be wild, man. I hope you're ready for a wild time, because
I mean, I am, like, I love people, and I just have to make sure I know when to be like, can I have a pee break or can I have water? Because I will talk, and like I just love hearing people's stories, and I'm I'll be there signing stuff, taking pictures, doing Q&As. I think I actually have made some merch. To my character that I'm bringing. I can't decide if I should bring it in actuality or just like have the QR code and people can like have it sent to them, which might be better if they're flying, and might be better. I'm starting light, but I just thought it'd be really cool to make something particular to Isabel. So I think I'll be doing that, and then just spending time hanging out. I'm really excited.
Awesome.
I mean, friends there, and so that's cool. And I have people in the cast that I've kind of helped Arnold. I've reached out and been like, hey, I'm doing this. Do you want to do this? Because I don't know what it is, but I hope it's going to be good. So if you're there, maybe it'll be better. So gotten more people to come from the cast, and hopefully we can.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to a lot of them. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you in person. This insanity, this jungle that's going to be DunderCon.
Right.
So all of you checking this out, if you cannot be there at DunderCon, we will be putting more information out forthcoming about live streams, and again, how we're going to be covering that event all weekend long. It's going to be awesome, whether you're with us remotely or in person. Because cool people like Kelen are going to be there. So now I feel a lot more confident that this is going to be a badass weekend. So I hope we're all.
I haven't been in New York since before the pandemic. I mean, we'll be in Secaucus, but like right there, Yeah. I'm from the East Coast, so it'll be good to like return home, sort of thing.
Awesome. Well, Kelen, we're glad to have you back on the East Coast soon. We're glad that we're going to be able to all. We're all going to get to get a little more up close and personal with you at DunderCon, and we're excited again, as we talked about, to see what's coming next for you, because we know there's big things coming. And in the meantime, for those of us who have only seen Kelen on The Office, we've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, right. There's a lot. I wanted to know before you go, were there other ones that you were going to bring up that because I took so long? I'm just curious what like those good ones were.
There were actually. I was. This is a very kind of odd, random thing, but I was pretty captivated by the fact that you appeared on Hot in Cleveland, which means that you got to be around Betty White. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, that was also all of these ones are straight offers, so maybe I shouldn't audition anymore and I should just wait. But yeah, that was a straight offer, and it was really fun.
You realize your career is like a Tinder profile. Like people are just like
Well, listen,
swiping.
I don't have luck on dating apps anyway, so maybe I should just make it a career app.
You need a
Um,
casting agent. That's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah. But right, but yeah, that was so cool getting to watch her. She was a legend. I mean, she was then and she is now. It's so sad that she's gone, but like she left such a body of work. I only hope that I can be a Betty White back in the day. I just need my golden girls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she was incredible to watch, and how she would on tape night just show up, and it would be like, oh, all that work, she's there, she's ready, and she's still killing it. It was unreal. I think I did two. I was somebody's daughter. I can't remember who, but I was somebody's daughter. Oh no, maybe it was that my fiance was played by actually a friend who I met through Anna Camp. God, it's all going back to The Office.
Small world, yeah.
Michael McMillan, most people know him from True Blood, and he played the pastor in True Blood to Anna's his wife, and we played. We were getting married, and he was someone's son or grandson of those ladies. I think.
Okay.
Was the deal. Yeah, something like that. I have to go. So, like, I've only seen, anytime I'm on something, I watch it once.
Yeah.
Because I can't, or maybe twice. The first time I go, oh my God, I look horrible, because that's stupid, like vanity crap. And then I get past that and I go, okay, watch the work. And then I watch and I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's good. I would have done that differently, learn from it. And then I like never watch it again until randomly someone either posts something online, or I don't think I've ever, I think I've only watched The Offices once or twice.
Wow.
Ever. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, I've seen the need getting kicked in the face a billion times. Yeah, but I also want to mention I'm like starting to do a lot more of these like things that I like. Like I said, I love people, and I also am like a super like geek dork girl, right? So I'm a fan of things as well. And one of the things I got into in the past years, a bunch of girlfriends and I learned how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Cool.
Yeah, because we had never been able to play when we were little. And say I'm like a Disney nerd. If you could see these posters, they're all, and I don't know if you're allowed, but they're all like Disney rides up here. And like I have, my wand that turns on the television. I don't use it, but I love it.
Awesome.
For Harry Potter, I'm just like, I love fantasy. I love all this. I love fandom and shows. I'm a fan myself. So I learned no one had ever asked us to play because we thought it was for boys or uncool. We learned as adults. We kind of taped ourselves playing. Someone at D&D saw us and goes, because I think LA Weekly wrote an article about us being an all-girl group playing Dungeons and Dragons and putting our content online. Dungeons and Dragons asked us to play on their Twitch channel. We start doing a campaign and through Dungeons and Dragons proper, and then did a series on a podcast version of our campaign on Spotify, and then we did Zoom, like 2 different campaigns on Zoom, and then all through the pandemic as well. And so now, because of that, I'm getting to go and play Dungeons and Dragons in a castle in England, and it's called D&D in a castle. And I am now, for any other, because I have a feeling some Office people might cross over with that world, maybe, of like Dungeons and Dragons.
Seems like a safe bet. Yeah.
I should mention it because it's another opportunity to hang, but this time for 4 days in a castle in England, where we'll be staying at the same place as me. And it's maybe I shouldn't be telling people this, but no, but it's D&D in a castle, and I'm going to be dungeon mastering, DMing for my first time ever. Wow. And I'm teaming up with this other awesome DM. She's called Beth the Bard, and she like teaches people to DM. She's on all the, like, people know D&D. She's on so many different streams, and we're going to be co-DMing. And if you want me to tell you the dates, I can. But I'm just saying, like, it will be available to sign up for it's a vacation with a different type of, because you go away, but you play D&D for hours and hours every day. And there's like a ball, and there's, we eat together, we do all this stuff together. And then I think the tickets are on sale soon to be on my table, but there's limited spots. So it's like only 4 or 5 people, and I'm doing 2 rounds. So like that's 8 people total.
I'm trying to because in a very, very vague way, I'm trying to figure out ways that those in the corporate world can get this written off as sort of a retreat or a seminar.
Maybe. Well, you could, as a media person, you could be like, well, I'm there writing an article about it. There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
But it's I think October 16th through 20th. is round 6, and then October 21st through 25th is round 7, and I will be there DMing for both. And it's going to be online. So DND in a castle online, or all the Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. But if you want to come play D&D with me for hours every day for 4 days in England, you can also do that. I'll be there.
That is such a specific desire.
Right.
And I'm sure people...
Make sure you're cool and chill and nice and all, like, yeah. But I think it's going to be really fun, hopefully.
And is this something you're going to be talking about or previewing a little bit on any of your social media? Are you a social media person?
I am. I mean, I'm on Instagram. I've been kind of the past a bunch of months, I've been kind of taking it easy with just life stuff. But usually I'm much more present. I have amazing people that follow me on there, and I'm gonna be kicking it up, I think, a gear soon. I need to get more into TikTok. I do have a TikTok if you want to follow on there, but it's probably at Kelen Coleman at anything I'm on. But mostly I'm on Instagram right now, but I'm going to be doing more TikTok. I'm also starting this sort of travel geared, because I'm obsessed with travel. I'm going to be doing a lot of travel videos and all the stuff that I've just like stockpiled, and editing them and kind of putting that out as well. So for some other ideas, I'm trying to create shows now.
Yeah.
Can't talk about them yet because they're not there, but I am doing that as another outlet.
Amazing. I mean, for like half a second, we had maybe a bit of a concern that maybe there's not going to be as much Kelen content available in the near future, and we've just wiped that concern clean.
Whenever I'm worried about my career, I tend to all of a sudden get a job, and it's just, you gotta keep the hope and keep the positivity and just do the work. Just keep learning your craft and trying to be better every audition. But I'm filling my time with making my own things and trying to do also all these things that are just fun and weird and odd and came out of nowhere, like D&D in a castle and DunderCon, because they just make me happy. So why not?
Yeah, and that always leads to the best opportunities anyway, right?
It really does, because you never know who you're going to meet and who you're going to get to spend time with and talk to, and it's just cool to get this opportunity to do it. So thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being
here.
Hope
that I meet you. I can't. Well, I will. We'll talk. We'll do stuff at DunderCon. And yeah.
For sure. And, for all you folks, if you're going to be attending DunderCon, if you want to check it out through our coverage, there's going to be a lot more Kelen in your future, I believe, one way or the other. Even everything we've talked about today, we've really just scratched the surface. So
we really have. And I'm sorry, I just answer every question.
It only gives me rationale to try to persuade you to come back for round 2. So we'll work on that too.
For sure.
Perfect. So thank you again. Get packing. DunderCon's only a couple weeks away.
No.
And we're gonna see you in Jersey / New York / whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So Jersey, New York. Hello. See you there August 6th and 7th at DunderCon.
Absolutely. And for all you, thank you for checking us out once again, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Apple, Spotify, one of our podcast platforms, or on edgemagonline.com. We thank you, and we encourage you to subscribe for free, share, rate, review, and check us out next time. We'll see you then. Thanks, Kelen.
Sure. Thank you so much, Jerry.
All right.
Bye, everybody.